Okay, so let's jump right in. We're going to talk about something called vulnerability management. I know it sounds super technical, but stick with me. We're going to break it all down. It's this absolutely massive challenge for anyone trying to keep us safe online. And we're about to find out why the number one way we measure digital danger, well, it might be leading us completely astray. So, to get a feel for just how big this problem is, look at this number. That's how many brand new vulnerabilities get discovered and added to the official list every single month. It's a total flood, and it never stops. And, for any big company, that monthly flood turns into an ocean. We're talking millions of little cracks in the armor. You have to imagine being on the security team for that. It's like trying to empty the entire ocean with a teaspoon. Just completely overwhelming. So, to deal with all this chaos, the industry came up with what seemed like a really smart solution. A single number to rule them all, something to bring a little order to the madness. And it's called the Common Vulnerability Scoring System, or CVSS for short. Now, on the surface, this is brilliant. Every vulnerability gets a score, 0 to 10. 10 is, hair on fire bad. This way, everyone's speaking the same language. We all know what's supposedly dangerous, right? Now, here's where it gets kind of cool. How they actually come up with that score, it's not just pulled out of thin air. It's a mix of all these different things. It asks questions like, how does a hacker get in? Over the network? Or do they need to be, physically at the computer? Can they steal your data? Can they mess with it? It's basically a recipe for disaster. And all those ingredients get thrown into this formula that, looks a little scary. But don't worry, you don't need a PhD to get it. It just crunches all those factors together to bake that final score, from 0 to 10. One neat, tidy number. So we have our nice little number. The plan should be simple. Fix all the 9s and 10s, then go home, right? Well, here's where the story gets a little complicated. And this quote from SecureWorks just says it all, doesn't it? If you just blindly follow that score, you could be wasting a ton of time and energy. It's kind of like deciding to see a movie based only on its star rating. You're missing the entire plot. Let's just think about this for a second. What's actually worse? A supercritical 9.8 vulnerability on some old server that's locked in a closet with no internet connection? Or a medium 6.5 flaw on the server that processes every single one of your customer payments? Yeah, a high score on something that doesn't matter is just noise. But a medium score on something critical? That could be the thing that takes you down. It's all about context. So, if a single number isn't the magic bullet, then what is? Well, the real fix isn't a score at all. It's a process. It's this continuous cycle that all the smart companies use to actually stay ahead of the game. And that process is vulnerability management. The key word there is cyclical. You have to think of it less like a one-and-done fire drill and more like a fitness plan. It's this consistent, ongoing thing you have to do to keep your company's security in good shape. And this is what that fitness plan looks like. It's a 6-step loop that turns all that chaos we talked about into an organized strategy. You find your weak spots, you prioritize them, and that's the really hard part. Then you fix them, you double-check that the fix worked, and you tell people about it. And then, the most important part, you do it all over again, and you get a little bit better every time. Okay, so that brings us to the big, flashing neon sign question in step 2. How do you really decide what to fix first? This is where the secret sauce is. This is where the real smarts come in. It all boils down to this classic equation. Real risk isn't just about how bad a flaw is, it's a mix of two simple things. What's the chance someone will actually use this against me, and how bad would it be if they did? To figure that out, you have to start asking much better questions. Like, how important is this system to our business? Are actual hackers out there using this thing right now? What's the real damage going to be? To our bank account or to our reputation? These are the things that show you the true risk. I love this. The struggle is so real that people are literally on Reddit trying to invent their own math to solve this problem. This one user created this whole priority formula, but my favorite part is the top comment, which is just pure wisdom from the trenches. Asset criticality should go first. You have to know what matters to you before you can protect it. And this diagram here, it shows you how the pros put all of this together. Now, I know it looks like the wiring diagram for a spaceship, but just follow the information. All the data from your security tools, your assets, your people, it all flows up to the people at the top making the decisions. This is what having full context actually looks like. You can't make smart choices in a vacuum. So what's the big takeaway from all this? If you remember one thing, it should be this. Cybersecurity is not some destination you arrive at. It's not a project you finish and then check off a list. It's a continuous workout. It's this constant loop of planning what you're going to do, doing it, seeing how it went, and then adjusting. It literally never ends. But just like going to the gym, it's what keeps your organization strong and able to handle a punch. And a Reddit user named BitSlammer just put it so perfectly. Just trying to keep up, just treading water, that's not good enough. That's a red flag. It means you're falling behind. You have to be actively getting better, paying down that risk like it's a credit card bill. Which leaves us with one last thing to think about. We've figured out that finding the real risk is all about context. So as artificial intelligence gets smarter and smarter, are we finally going to get a tool that can see what's truly dangerous? Or is AI just going to get better at finding even more needles in a haystack that's growing bigger every single day?